Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I invite you to pause for just a moment. Stop scrolling, stop running, stop striving, take a breath, and listen. There is a truth that echoes through eternity, a truth that has never changed and never will. When you put God first, everything changes. In the hustle and chaos of life, we often place our ambitions, our careers, our relationships, and even our problems at the center. We say we believe in God, we say we trust Him, but our actions betray us. We live as though we are the masters of our fate, the captains of our soul. But let me tell you, there is only one captain worthy of your trust. There is only one God who holds your past, present, and future in His mighty hands. When God is not first, our lives become disordered. When He is an afterthought, everything else becomes unstable. It's like building a house on shifting sand. When the storms come, and they always come, everything crumbles. But when God is first, when He is the cornerstone of your life, you are building on a rock that cannot be moved. Your heart may tremble, but your foundation will stand firm. You see, God doesn't just want a place in your life. He doesn't want to be your backup plan or your emergency contact. He wants to be first, not because He needs it, but because you do. He created you for relationship. He made you to walk with Him, to know Him, and to find your purpose in Him. And when you finally surrender, when you say, Lord, take the throne of my heart, that's when everything changes. People chase money, fame, pleasure, and power, thinking these things will satisfy the ache in their soul. But no amount of success can fill a heart that was created to be filled by God. Some of you watching right now have everything the world says you need, yet you still feel empty. That's because you've put something else where only God belongs. When you put God first, your priorities change. You begin to see the world differently. You stop asking, what do I want out of life? And you begin to ask, what does God want with my life? And let me tell you something. His plans for you are far greater than anything you could ever imagine for yourself. When you align your life with His will, when you walk in His ways, you don't just exist. You begin to live with purpose, with joy, with peace. Putting God first doesn't mean your life will be perfect. It doesn't mean you won't face trials or heartaches, but it does mean you won't face them alone. It means you have a strength beyond your own. It means you have a hope that nothing can take away. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That's not a suggestion, it's a promise. When you seek Him first, He takes care of the rest. Some of you are waiting for your circumstances to change. You think, once I get that job, once I find the right person, once I get out of this season, then I'll put God first. But you've got it backward. When you put God first now, no matter what season you're in, that's when things begin to shift. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. You want peace, put God first. You want purpose, put God first. You want freedom from fear, from anxiety, from guilt, from shame. Put God first. Don't give Him your leftovers. Don't give Him what's convenient. Give Him your heart, your trust, your time, your everything. And watch what He does with it. There is a God in heaven who sees you, who loves you, who's calling your name right now. He's not distant. He's not silent. He's waiting. But He won't force His way into your life. You must open the door. You must choose to say, Lord, I don't want to run my life anymore. I want You to take the lead. That choice, more than any other decision you will ever make, will change your life. Because when you put God first, He doesn't just bless you with things. He blesses you with Himself. And there is no greater gift than the presence of the Almighty walking beside you, guiding you, lifting you, carrying you. So today, wherever you are, however far you've wandered, however broken you may feel, turn to Him, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Say in your heart, God, I want You to be first in my life. And when you do, you'll discover a power, a peace, a purpose that you've never known before. Because when you put God first, everything changes. There are moments in every life when the weight of the world becomes too heavy to bear. We try to hold it all together, our families, our jobs, our hopes, our failures, until we feel like we might break. But there is one truth that has held through every generation, one foundation that has never crumbled. When you make God your priority, He becomes your strength, not a crutch, but a solid rock beneath your feet. Not an escape, but a strong tower that shields you when the winds howl and the darkness creeps in. Putting God first doesn't begin in the loud places. It begins in the quiet. It begins in the early mornings when no one else sees. It begins when you choose prayer over panic, trust over worry, obedience over convenience. It begins in the choices no one applauds, the sacrifices no one praises, but heaven sees and heaven moves, because when you honor God in private, He honors you in public. Too often we treat God like a spare tire, only pulling Him out when there's a blowout in life. But when He is first, He becomes the steering wheel, guiding every turn, every decision, every step. He lights the path, even if the road ahead looks uncertain. Faith doesn't mean you always know where you're going. It means you trust the one who leads the way. And here is the beauty. When God is first, everything else begins to fall into its rightful place. Not always easily, not always quickly, but with divine order. That marriage that seemed to be falling apart, God can restore it when He becomes the center of it. That child who's gone astray, God can bring them home when you entrust them fully into His care. That financial pressure you're under, God can make a way when there seems to be no way. He may not always change the situation immediately, but He'll change you in the midst of it, and that changes everything. Sometimes we think that surrendering to God means losing control, and it does, but it also means giving up the illusion that we were ever in control in the first place. It's not weakness to yield to Him, it's wisdom. Because when you surrender to God, you're not giving up. You're stepping into the hands of the one who holds the universe and yet still knows your name. There are many people today searching for answers. They look to politics, to technology, to trends and philosophies, but their hearts remain empty, because none of these things can replace the power of a life rooted in God. You were not created to be tossed by every wave of opinion, every new idea, every fear that passes through the night. You were created to stand firm, anchored in truth, led by grace, empowered by the Spirit of the living God. And don't think for a moment that putting God first is just about Sunday morning. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. It's about walking with Him in your daily life. When you go to work, He goes with you. When you face a challenge, He stands beside you. When you're tempted to give up, His Spirit lifts you. You don't have to carry life on your shoulders when the one who carried the cross offers to carry you. God doesn't need to be part of your life. He is your life. Without Him, there is no breath, no meaning, no hope. But with Him, there is light even in the darkest valley. There is strength in your weakness. There is direction when you're lost, comfort when you're hurting, and victory even when the battle seems impossible. That is the power of putting Him first. You may feel too far gone. You may say, I've made too many mistakes. I've wasted too much time. But I'm here to tell you, as long as you have breath in your lungs, it is not too late to turn your heart toward Him. God is not intimidated by your past. He is not limited by your failures. He is waiting with open arms. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for surrender. That moment when you say, God, I don't want to do this my way anymore. I want you to lead. And when you do, your heart will begin to change. Your thinking will shift. Your habits will be transformed. You'll begin to see people differently. You'll begin to live for something greater than yourself, because putting God first doesn't just change your schedule. It changes your soul. It recalibrates your identity, redefines your purpose, and renews your hope. Don't be afraid to step out in faith. Don't be afraid to let go of what's holding you back. God never asks you to give up something unless He has something better prepared for you. That relationship that's pulling you away from Him, let it go. That habit that's stealing your peace, surrender it. That fear that's keeping you stuck, lay it down. When you put God first, you may lose a few things, but you'll gain what really matters. Some of you have been asking, why isn't anything working out? Could it be that you've placed other things on the throne of your heart? Could it be that you've let your job, your status, your pride, or even your pain come before God? It's time to clear the throne. It's time to return to your first love. It's time to make God not a part of your life, but the very center of it. Because when you put God first, you step into a story bigger than your own. You become part of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. You are no longer living for temporary success, but for eternal significance. And that, my friend, is a life worth living. That is the life you were created for. So make the choice today, not tomorrow, not next week. But now, put God first, and watch as He changes everything. There is a stirring in your soul that no amount of noise can silence. It is the quiet pull of eternity, the whisper of a Creator who has been calling your name since before time began. You may have ignored it. You may have drowned it out with distractions, with busyness, with the chase for approval and recognition, but it is still there, and it's calling you home. Because there is a place in your heart that only God can fill, and there is a life waiting to be lived. If only you will place Him first, you can go through the motions of religion and still miss the heart of God. You can memorize verses, attend services, even serve others, and still not make Him the center of your life, because putting God first is not about appearances. It's not about performance. It's about surrender. It's about giving Him not just a place in your week, but the throne of your heart every moment of every day. There's a cost to putting God first. It means dying to yourself. It means saying no to the flesh and yes to the Spirit. It means walking a narrow road when the broad path looks easier. But though the cost is real, the reward is eternal. You gain peace that the world cannot give and joy that circumstances cannot steal. You gain clarity in confusion, power in weakness, and hope in despair. When God is first, your life doesn't get easier, it gets anchored. There is no such thing as a life too broken for God to restore. No sin too dark, no wound too deep, no past too shameful. He is the God who takes ashes and brings beauty, who takes the rejected and calls them chosen, but He won't compete with your idols. He won't force His way in. He waits patiently, lovingly, until you're ready to place Him where He belongs first. And that choice, it's not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Every morning when your feet hit the floor, you have a choice. Will you seek Him or seek yourself? Will you trust His wisdom or your own understanding? Will you chase His kingdom or build your own? Putting God first means starting every day with a posture of humility, a heart that says, not my will, but yours be done. It changes the way you see success. It changes the way you handle failure. It changes how you treat people, how you handle money, how you respond to pain. It affects how you lead your family, how you serve your church, how you engage with the world. When God is first, you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to strive for the approval of man, because you're already approved by the one whose opinion matters most. Putting God first will cost you some things, your pride, your agenda, your control. But it will also set you free, free from anxiety, free from the fear of the future, free from the constant striving to be enough. Because when God is your source, you lack nothing. When God is your defender, you don't have to fight every battle. When God is your provider, you don't have to chase every dollar. When God is your purpose, you don't need the world's applause. There are people right now who are being crushed under the weight of life because they've placed their hope in things that were never meant to hold it. The stock market, relationships, political leaders, even their own abilities. And when those things shake, their whole world shakes with them. But when your hope is in God, when He is first, your foundation stands unshaken. You may be walking through a storm right now. The winds are fierce, the waves are rising, and everything in you wants to panic. But if you've made God your anchor, you won't sink. If you've placed Him first, you'll find that even in the storm, He's still in control. He's not pacing in heaven, wringing His hands. He's seated on the throne, and He's holding you. You might say, but I've already failed so many times. Welcome to grace. Grace doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for surrender. Grace doesn't keep score, it washes the slate clean. And when you return to God and place Him first, He doesn't meet you with shame. He meets you with mercy. Like the father who ran to embrace the prodigal son, God runs to meet you. Not to condemn you, but to restore you. Putting God first also transforms your relationships. When He is your center, you begin to love others not with your limited capacity, but with His limitless love. You begin to forgive like He forgave you. You begin to serve not out of obligation, but out of joy. You begin to see every person as someone created in His image, someone worth dying for. And that changes how you live, how you lead, and how you love. Putting God first doesn't remove the trials, but it does change how you face them. Suddenly, suffering becomes a platform for His glory. Pain becomes a place of deeper intimacy. Even the waiting becomes sacred because you know that God is working in the delay. When He is first, you realize that life is not about comfort. It's about calling. It's not about ease, it's about impact. And even in the valley, you can walk with purpose because He walks with you. There is a peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be, right in the center of God's will. That kind of peace can't be manufactured, it can't be bought, and it can't be found apart from Him. It is the deep assurance that no matter what comes, you are held, you are seen, and you are loved by the one who holds it all together. Some of you have been asking God to change your circumstances, but He's been asking to change you. Because when He becomes first, you'll stop seeing problems as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities. You'll stop begging for comfort and start praying for courage. You'll stop looking for the easiest path and start walking the path of obedience, no matter the cost. God is not interested in part-time devotion. He is not satisfied with half-hearted worship. He is not impressed by empty rituals. He wants your heart, all of it. He wants your dreams, your fears, your plans, your pain. And when you give it all to Him, He takes what's broken and makes it beautiful. He takes what's surrendered and makes it sacred. That is what happens when God is first. Every generation has to decide who they will serve. Will it be the gods of success, of comfort, of self? Or will it be the living God who created the heavens and the earth, who sent His Son to redeem us, and who calls us into life everlasting? The choice is yours. But know this, your choice will shape your life, your legacy, and your eternity. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to fix yourself first. Just come. Come with your questions, your doubts, your mess. Come with your wounds, your weakness, your weariness. God is not asking for perfection. He's asking for surrender. He's asking you to trust Him enough to let go of control and place Him in His rightful place first. You may not know what tomorrow holds. You may not see the full picture. But when God is first, you can rest in the hands of the one who does. He goes before you. He walks beside you. He covers you behind. And nothing can separate you from His love. not failure, not fear, not even death. So take that step, make that choice, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Because deep down, you know that you were made for more than this world can offer. You were made for him, and when he is first, when he is truly Lord of your life, you'll find that everything changes. There's a quiet transformation that takes place when you put God first. It may not always be visible on the outside right away. It may not come with fireworks or applause, but deep in your soul, something shifts, worry loses its grip, fear begins to fade. The chaos around you may still swirl, but inside there's a steady peace that wasn't there before. Because you know who holds your future, you know who directs your path, you know who walks with you through every high and low. Putting God first reorients your life. It realigns your desires. Things you once craved begin to lose their appeal, and new desires, holy desires, begin to grow. You start to long for his presence more than you long for possessions. You start to hunger for righteousness more than recognition. The noise of the world begins to dim, and the voice of the shepherd grows clearer. His word becomes not just a book, but your daily bread. His presence becomes not just a comfort, but your greatest treasure. This is the invitation God gives to every soul, an invitation to step out of striving and into surrender, to trade performance for peace, to stop building your own kingdom and start living for his. And when you do, you won't just find a better life. You'll find true life, the kind that doesn't end, the kind that carries you through every season, every sorrow, every success, with your eyes lifted, your heart anchored, and your steps guided by the one who is above all. And when he is first, truly first, everything changes, not just for a moment, but forever. So what will you choose? Will you continue chasing after things that can never truly satisfy? Or will you open your heart to the one who offers life, peace, and purpose beyond measure? When God is placed first, he brings order to the chaos, healing to the broken, and strength to the weary. It doesn't mean the storms of life will vanish, but it means you'll never face them alone. You'll walk through the fire without being consumed. You'll stand in the storm without being shaken, because the one who spoke the stars into existence now leads your every step. Make the decision today, not just to acknowledge God, not just to include him, but to enthrone him. Let every thought, every choice, every desire fall in line behind him. And when you do, you'll find that you're not just surviving. You're living the life you were always meant to live. When God is first, everything changes.